Wanted to give you the latest on Brandon Aiyuk. It just goes on and on and on. Will he just come to Washington already, Cakes?
Well, I mean, he can't just if that was within the range of outcomes for him, if it was just as easy as saying to the Niners, you know what, I don't want to play for you guys anymore. I'm just going to go play with my guy Jaden Daniels. He'd be here already. But he needs to be.
Well, not if they offered less.
He needs to be traded here.
He wants to make the most money.
Or he needs his contract to expire. One of those two things has to happen for him to wind up here.
He just continually taunts the Niners too.
Now,
so the latest
if I were
is
Adam Peters, I would just I would reach out to him. I would say, Brandon, just look, play for the $14.1 million you're due this year. That's the last year of his rookie deal, and we're going to be players for you in the offseason. Just keep it in your pants and stop posting our practice videos on your social media.
That's the latest.
Stop doing that.
So he posted a photo of Washington Commanders practice film during the team's mandatory minicamp on his TikTok. It's just a weird bit.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre behavior from Brandon Aiyuk. Just trying to force the Niners' hand, I guess.
What does this mean to you, Jason? You're a Niners fan, so that's what Brandon Aiyuk
I saw it.
Posted on his TikTok.
Like I said, he's taunting the Niners, but he just wants to make the most amount of money. And I think they're going to get a contract done at some point. I'm not sure when, but he's not going to sit out, and I don't think they're going to trade him. But yes, it's very, very odd that he's doing this. And his agent should be saying, bro, what are you doing? I'm trying to work out a deal here. You can't piss him off. Unless he just desperately wants to get out of there, but I don't think he does.
I don't know.
I think he seems like he does.
He wants to make the most amount of money.
Understood. And maybe these are all just negotiating ploys and tactics, but he certainly has a fascination with Jaden Daniels and the Commanders.
Well, it's
or
boy.
so it seems.
Yeah, that's
his guy.
But I think that he's kind of using it as a leverage point, and it's just not going to get it done. That's not in the future. What's in the future is getting a contract extension with the Niners and making the most amount of money.
Maybe the Niners have just done the math and they say, we don't feel like paying Brandon Aiyuk $27 million a season. We don't feel like he's that sort of a player.
Yeah, well, maybe at the end of the day, they meet in the middle. Maybe he doesn't get $27 million.
Or maybe they just ride out this year and let him go in free agency.
How do we know that the Commanders will give him $27 million?
We don't.
We don't, exactly.
Is it a big deal, though, that he has access to the Commanders' practice film?
Like, my question would be, how is he getting that access? Do we know how? Like, is this being shared from Jaden Daniels? Like, giving him
has to be.
Yeah,
that has to be the connection, right?
Yeah. Is that a big deal?
I mean,
or is it no big deal?
I think it's kind of a bit like if I'm Dan Quinn,
right?
If I'm the coaching staff with the Commanders, I'm going to be pissed that my quarterback is sharing, our schemes, our film, our protections, our schemes, all that with a rival. That just seems weird. Like, I'd be putting if I'm Dan Quinn, I'm bringing Jaden Daniels.
You're putting the kibosh on
saying, I know you're buddies with Brandon Aiyuk. That's great. You guys can be friends for the next 50 years, but you can't send him clips of us in minicamp. That's like, now you're crossing a line here.
What we don't know is how much film
we don't know
Brandon Aiyuk have access to from Jaden Daniels. That's what I'm asking. And you can chime in 800-636-1067. Like, my thought was, all right, Aiyuk is tweaking his team, the Niners. He keeps tweaking them with Commanders references. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, it's a little trifling that he has access to this film. It may be very innocuous. All you really see in this picture is the offensive line set up and the defensive line and the linebackers like set up.
Right. Yeah, but
you see basically a basic box of the NFL.
But like if he's putting it out there, you question how much does he have access to? He could be sharing it with a dozen other people or 50 other players that he knows. And that has to just get under the skin of Quinn and the rest of the coaches. Like, that stuff should not.
Yeah,
proprietary information should not be shared
I agree.
with other teams.
I would think Quinn and Peters should get with, and maybe they already have. I'm sure they've talked to him. JD. I know Aiyuk's your boy. He plays for a different team.
Right.
All right. He's not a member of our team. He's in a contract negotiation. They're at a standstill. All right. He's used as a leverage ploy. Just don't do that. Stay out of it. Just stay out of it. And that's how I assume he got it. But but Aiyuk, apparently the talks were going well a few weeks ago, and then some other contracts were settled by other receivers. So his number went up because he thinks he wants to be paid like the A.J. Browns of the world.
Right.
I'm not sure he's going to get that, but maybe he gets something close.
Maybe he gets like Jaden Waddle, Devontae Smith type money like that. Like his stats kind of land him in that sort of territory.
Right.
Like not the top 3 or top 5 elite wideouts, but the next tier down. And if his agent and he are not satisfied with that, then he may have to look elsewhere and just play out the string and make the $14 million and hit the market as a free agent in the offseason. If a deal hasn't been struck yet, I don't know if the Niners in any rush to sign Brandon Aiyuk to what they feel is an overvalued deal for him?
Well, they're not.
Probably not.
No, but I mean, it's only July 8th.
Right.
I mean, they got plenty of time. And they certainly don't want it hanging over their heads for the entire year.
I think the Niners are tired of the shenanigans, and maybe they're just sticking to their guns and saying, you're just going to play in a lame duck year for the 14.1, and then you can go out and test your market during the offseason and see what people think of you outside of the 49ers bubble.
This is the same thing that happened with Debo. Now, Debo wasn't talking to another quarterback for another team that he liked, but it's the same thing they were doing with him, and they ended up extending him. But I think they'll get it done.
I think John Lynch and the guys that run the Niners front office, they're doing the math. They're looking at, they just extended Christian McCaffrey.
True.
George Kittle's making big money. Debo, I believe, is pulling in $20 million per season.
True.
And even though the salary cap keeps going up and the revenues keep going up, they're probably looking at what they're spending on offense and the skill position players and saying, 26 or 27 million per year.
But if they want to win a Super Bowl,
too rich for our blood.
Debo, you couldn't count on him last year. He was always banged up. If you want to win a Super Bowl, you've got to keep him. He's a legitimate number 2 threat.
He's a very good threat. There's no doubt about it.
And so I think that they want him. That they're probably not happy with everything, all the shenanigans that are going on off the field. But
they also drafted 2 wideouts.
That's true.
And
one's a 4th rounder. So
right.
I mean, Pearsall's a 1st rounder. We'll see. But for this year, they certainly need him.
Right.
If they want to win a Super Bowl.
Well, thing is, they have him for this year. He's under contract for this year.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't think they're going to trade him.
So they might just be saying, well, you're going to play out this year, and then we'll see what happens at the end of the season. And, of course, players and coaches, they don't want to come into that last season without a new deal. Same with CeeDee Lamb. That's why he's going to be holding out of Dallas's training camp until his deal gets done.
Both of you, though, think it's a little trifling that Aiyuk had access to this video. We don't know how long the video was. On the Jaden Daniels side of things, he's basically done no wrong. Everything we've heard in the offseason is he's first at the park. He's a hard worker.
Yep.
He's throwing accurately into the net.
Great
the video looks great.
Great reputation.
Everything has been glowing. Is this the first, albeit minor, sin for Jaden Daniels? And how big of a deal, just from the Jaden Daniels thing, him allowing his buddy to check out practice video is on a scale of 1 to 10? Is it a 2? A 2 out of 10? I'd give it a 2 out of 10.
That's if Jaden Daniels is the one sending him the intel.
Okay, you have to assume.
That's the assumption. We don't know that.
That's true.
That's what we're assuming at this point.
If you assume that Aiyuk got it from Jaden, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10.
It's a minor transgression.
Yes.
It's a transgression, but it's a speeding ticket. You know what it is? It's going 48 in a 35. Like it's like you barely should get it. Like you should get a ticket, but you raise your eyebrow at the cop. Like you're really going to give me a ticket for going under 15 over the limit? It's a little bit dicey. A little slap on the wrist. Nothing more than that.
I mean,
what do you think, Jason?
We assume that this is how he got it.
Yes.
I mean, could he have gotten this just from regular media? Would the media have access to this particular photo?
Sure. Sometimes they'll have video.
Yeah, so maybe he got access online from somewhere else. But we assume Daniels gave it to him.
Yes.
Are you asking me
Yeah.
how bad of a I think it's if Daniels is doing this, Quinn needs to tell Daniels stop talking to Aiyuk. He's not a part of our team.
Yeah.
He's negotiating with another team.
Like if you guys want to go
He doesn't
shop,
play for us.
you guys want to go shop at Tyson's together and hang, by all means,
But
do
don't
that.
contribute.
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous. But yeah, again, I assume that's how I got it.
Just a couple weeks till they're actually throwing footballs in training camp.
I believe it's 2 weeks from today.
Yep.
Or 15 days from today. Rookies report earlier.
That's right.